Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo, and today we're in the kitchen and I am going to show you how to make a really good breakfast for Christmas morning. It's something that our family for generations have enjoyed, and it's called French breakfast puffs. For this recipe, you will need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, and they're going to cook for about 20 to 25 minutes. You're going to first mix together 1/3 cup of soft shortening, 1/2 cup of sugar, and an egg. And that's what I have in here. And normally with muffins, you don't mix a whole lot because they tend to peak. These, you're going to mix a lot and it's fine. They will not peak. So after you get those ingredients all mixed up, once you get those ingredients mixed well, you're going to add the next ingredients alternately with 1/2 cup of milk. In here, I just sifted together with a fork. I have 1½ cups of flour, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And that's the most important ingredient in this whole thing. That and I guess the cinnamon and sugar at the end. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start mixing the milk and the flour alternately in here. Sure this is locked up. A little bit of the dry ingredients, a little bit of the milk. A little bit of the dry ingredients, a little bit of the milk. And you just keep doing that until you've got it all mixed nicely and all the ingredients are in there. Now we have everything mixed, and the next step is to scoop them up in here and bake them. I like to use one of these little scoops to just scoop it up, scoop it out. I use the spatula to get the last little bit out of here. And now I have them all ready to go in the oven. 20 minutes. See you then. So we have about 10 minutes before they come out. And as soon as they come out, you're going to want to take them out of the muffin tin and you're going to do the very next step. So I need to get prepared for that. It calls for 6 tablespoons of butter, but I usually use a whole stick. So let's get this put in there so it can start melting. And then the next thing you want to put, it calls for 1/2 cup of sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon. But I'll be honest with you, I usually need more for this recipe. The next thing we have to get prepared is the cinnamon and sugar. And it actually calls for, let's see, 1/2 cup of sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon. But you know, you can just eyeball it. I usually like to have a little bit more cinnamon than what it calls for. And I just put a bunch of sugar in here. Usually I have to add more than what it calls for. But, you know, you can just eyeball it. And remember this too, you can always add more. Get that all mixed up. I want a little bit more cinnamon than that. I love cinnamon. Anyway, let me get this ready and I'll be back when we do the next step. Time's up. Let's get them out of the oven. Looks like they're ready. Don't they look good? Now to make them really, really good. So I just used a knife to kind of slant them a little bit like this. And then I'm going to put them over here on this little plate. And take them over to where I'm going to dip them in butter and cinnamon and sugar. And you do this right out of the oven because you want them extra fresh. So I kind of have an assembly line here going. I've got my muffins on a plate here, melted butter, the cinnamon and the sugar. And I just take and just coat, and this gets pretty messy here. So coat it really well with the butter. You need a spoon to kind of spoon the sugar onto the muffins. And I like them coated really nicely. And there's one. Again, into the butter, into the cinnamon and sugar mixture, and onto the plate. I'll finish these and then we will taste them together. All done. And I had almost exactly enough. Had a little bit of butter left and not much cinnamon left. In fact, cinnamon and sugar, I'm just going to pour this on the top here. As you see, it gets a little messy, so you might want to keep a wet cloth by you, a clean wet cloth. Anyway, I am going to go take me one of these and enjoy them fresh. If you can't eat them right away, you can pop them in the microwave for a few seconds, and they taste really, really good. You want them warm. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this cook with me today. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, ding that bell for notification, and y'all have a wonderful day. I'm going to call my mom and enjoy one of these now.